Christ ought to be to look more like Christ every day. Every day, you ought to look more like Christ to your spouse, to your children, to your family, to your friends, to your church, to your community. You ought to look more like Christ every day if you are in loving relationship with Him. See, I believe the goal of every Christ follower is that we want to love like Jesus. Look at what Paul says beginning in verse 14. He says, "For Christ's love compels us." Think about that for just a moment. Christ's love compels us. In other words, it drives us, it pushes us, it empowers us. Christ's love compels us because we are convinced that one died for all. And there all have died. And He died for all, that those who live should no longer live for themselves, but for Him who died for them and was raised again. See, we learn in this passage of Scripture through Paul speaking to the church at Corinth that Jesus' love is a compelling love. Jesus' love compels us. Listen, when we embrace Jesus Christ and we embrace His love, it is a love that changes us. It is a love that drives us. It is a love that pushes us. It is a love that initiates action in our lives. That's what His love does. His love compels us to live for God rather than living for self. Well, watch this. Verse 20. "We are therefore Christ's ambassadors, as though God were making His appeal through us. We implore you on Christ's behalf, be reconciled to God. God has made Him who had no sin to be sin for us, so that in Him we might become the righteousness of God." You see this? Jesus' love compels us. First of all, it compels us to live for God rather than self. And now Paul says Jesus' love compels us to share the message of reconciliation. I want you to see this clearly. You see, it's not enough just to embrace Jesus' love and allow it to change your life and then close it up and hold on to it. That's not enough. See, Jesus' love, it changes us. And it compels us to live for God rather than living for self, but it also compels us to share that love with someone else. It compels us to share that love with everyone else. Paul says that in the love of Christ, you have now become His ambassador. See, Jesus died so that we could have forgiveness of sins. Jesus died so that we could have life. Jesus died so that we could know love, have love, and share love.